Welcome back to Dark Shadows Recap. In this video, we're diving into a chilling psychological horror drama called The Bad Seed. This recap contains major spoilers, so if you plan to watch the movie first, now is your chance to turn back. The story begins with a 9-year-old girl named Emma Grossman quietly watching a cat struggle in a fountain outside her bedroom window. Instead of reacting with concern, she simply closes the blinds and continues getting ready for the day as if nothing unusual is happening. Emma lives with her widowed father, David Grossman. She is known as an intelligent, polite, and exceptionally well-behaved child. On the surface, she appears to be the perfect daughter, yet there is something strangely missing beneath that calm personality. During breakfast, Emma shares her determination to win her school's citizenship award. While they are talking, David's sister, Angela, arrives and tells him that she has found a new babysitter for Emma after the previous one experiences an unfortunate accident. Moments later, Emma casually points out the lifeless cat floating in the fountain. David quickly retrieves it, but Emma shows no visible sadness or concern, making her reaction feel unsettling. Later that day at school, a wasp suddenly startles the classroom. As the other children move away in fear, Emma calmly traps the insect inside a glass and safely releases it through the window, impressing everyone around her. Meanwhile, David interviews a babysitter named Chloe. Her experience leaves a positive impression, and he decides to hire her. Chloe also appears to take a personal interest in David. Back at school, Emma helps her classmate Katie after the little girl accidentally bumps into her and falls. Their teacher notices the interaction, making it seem as though Emma is carefully displaying kindness to improve her chances of receiving the citizenship award. That evening, Emma quietly practices smiling in front of a mirror, almost as if she is rehearsing the perfect expression. The next day, David proudly takes her to school for the award ceremony. Parents and students gather as everyone waits for the winner to be announced. Instead of Emma, the award goes to a boy named Milo. The news clearly frustrates Emma. When David later encourages her to accept the result, she insists that she deserves the award far more than Milo and begins speaking negatively about him. After noticing David's disappointed expression, she quickly changes her attitude and apologizes. Sometime later, while no one else is nearby, Emma convinces Milo to walk with her toward a nearby cliff. When Milo suggests heading back, Emma steps closer to him, and the movie intentionally leaves the next moment unseen. Shortly afterward, Milo's worried parents ask Emma if she has seen their son, but she calmly claims that she has not seen him since the bonfire. Suddenly, two girls rush over in panic, calling everyone for help. The adults run toward the shoreline, where they discover that Milo has fallen from the cliff into the ocean. His father desperately tries to revive him, but despite every effort, Milo does not survive. The following morning, David gently asks Emma how she feels after losing her friend, yet she barely acknowledges what happened. Later, Chloe officially begins working as Emma's babysitter. That night, while David is away from home, Emma catches Chloe inside David's bedroom taking some of his medication. As they watch a movie later, Emma quietly confronts her about what she saw. She offers to keep Chloe's secret, but only if Chloe agrees to follow her requests. Emma then sends Chloe out to buy her ice cream. Although Chloe becomes frustrated by Emma's demanding behavior, she still goes along with it. The next day, everyone gathers for Milo's memorial service. Grief fills the ceremony, but Emma remains noticeably emotionless. While speaking with Milo's parents afterward, David learns that Milo's Citizenship Award medal has disappeared, and everyone assumes it was lost in the ocean. At that exact moment, Emma suddenly begins crying, making it seem as though she is forcing herself to appear heartbroken in front of the grieving family. After returning home, David cannot stop thinking about Emma's unusual behavior. While putting away her freshly folded laundry, he makes a disturbing discovery when Milo's missing medal is hidden beneath Emma's mattress. Deeply unsettled, David looks through the photographs taken on the day of the award ceremony and notices several images showing Emma staring intensely at Milo before the tragedy. Those pictures begin raising frightening questions in his mind, making him wonder whether Emma could somehow be connected to Milo's death. Later that day, Emma's teacher, Mrs. Ellis, arrives at the house with a police officer to discuss the incident. Mrs. Ellis explains that a witness reports seeing Emma and Milo together near the cliff shortly before the accident. Quietly listening from behind the doorway, Emma realizes what they are discussing. To interrupt the conversation, she deliberately creates a distraction by crashing into a vase and pretending to injure herself. Concerned for Emma's condition, Mrs. Ellis and the officer end their visit and leave. While David cleans and bandages her wound, he gently asks whether she was with Milo near the cliff. Emma firmly denies it. When David mentions that Mrs. Ellis says otherwise, Emma immediately becomes defensive and angrily insists that her teacher has always disliked her. The next day, Chloe walks over to the small workshop where David is busy working. She asks if she can smoke there, but David immediately refuses, explaining that the area is filled with highly flammable materials. A little later, Chloe takes Emma outside to ride her scooter. While they are near the street, they notice Mrs. Ellis's car parked outside Milo's house as she speaks with Milo's mother. Chloe quietly mentions that people seem to be gathering information about what happened, and she believes Emma knows far more about Milo's tragedy than she admits. Emma, however, calmly acts as though she has no idea what Chloe is talking about. After they return home, Chloe continues pressing the subject. She warns Emma that if the truth about Milo ever comes to light, there could be very serious consequences. Although Chloe's words clearly make Emma uneasy, the young girl still refuses to admit that she has done anything wrong. Later that day, Chloe searches the house looking for Emma. During her search, it becomes noticeable that the large wasp nest that had been attached to the ceiling of the backyard shed has mysteriously disappeared. Around the same time, Mrs. Ellis finishes visiting Milo's family and drives away. While she is on the road, a wasp suddenly distracts her, causing her to briefly lose control of the car. As the camera shifts toward the back seat, the missing wasp nest is revealed inside the vehicle, strongly suggesting that Emma secretly placed it there in an attempt to put her teacher in danger. Back at the house, Chloe discovers Milo's missing medal hidden beneath Emma's mattress. Hoping the truth will finally come out, she hangs the medal from a lamp inside David's bedroom, where it will be impossible to overlook. While David is in the bathroom, Emma enters the room, spots the medal, quickly removes it, and hides it behind her back. David notices her suspicious behavior, takes her back to her bedroom, and calmly asks her to explain. Emma invents a story, claiming that Milo willingly gave her the medal while they were spending time together. Deeply troubled by everything that has happened, David goes for a drive to clear his mind. Along the way, he passes the scene of a serious traffic accident. He also calls Angela and asks her to help arrange a therapist for Emma. That night, David is haunted by disturbing dreams that connect Emma with Milo's tragic fate. The following day, Emma confronts Chloe after realizing that she is the one who placed the medal in David's room. She is clearly upset by Chloe's actions. At that moment, David comes downstairs and asks Emma to go with him. He takes her to Milo's home so she can return the missing medal to Milo's mother. Although Milo's mother is surprised to see it again, she sincerely appreciates having it back. During their visit, she also shares the heartbreaking news that Mrs. Ellis has passed away following the recent car accident, which was triggered after wasps filled her vehicle. David is shocked by the unexpected update. Emma immediately begins crying and claims that Mrs. Ellis was her favorite teacher. However, while driving home only a short time later, Emma casually changes the subject and starts talking about baking cookies with Chloe, showing no lasting sign of grief. Her sudden emotional shift leaves David feeling even more disturbed. Later, while working inside the backyard shed, David realizes that the wasp nest has completely disappeared. As the pieces begin coming together, he starts to fear that Emma may somehow be connected to Mrs. Ellis's tragic accident as well. The next day, Emma attends her first session with her therapist, Dr. March. The two spend a long time talking, and after the appointment, Dr. March reassures David that Emma appears to be an ordinary child with no obvious warning signs. Emma even manages to leave a positive impression on the experienced psychiatrist. After returning home, David notices Chloe relaxing outside in athletic clothing and asks her to check on Emma. During their conversation, Chloe jokingly suggests that David seems interested in her and even hints that she could one day become Emma's stepmother. Those words immediately upset Emma, and she firmly tells Chloe to stay away from her father. That night, Emma asks David whether he likes Chloe and also mentions Chloe's comment about becoming part of their family. David is caught off guard by the question, but because he is already running late for an evening commitment, he leaves without fully discussing the situation. Later that night, Chloe hears an unusual sound while watching television. She searches the house for Emma but cannot find her anywhere. Looking outside, she notices a figure inside the backyard workshop and goes to investigate. The moment she steps inside, the door suddenly shuts behind her. She struggles to get out, only to realize it has been locked from the outside. Moments later, a fire begins spreading across the floor. Through the window, Chloe sees Emma silently watching from outside. Despite trying desperately to escape, the flames continue to spread, and the tragic incident claims Chloe's life. When David returns home, firefighters and emergency responders have already arrived. They inform him about Chloe's death and explain that Emma has been taken somewhere safe until he returns. Overwhelmed with emotion, David rushes to Emma and embraces her tightly. That night, David sits beside Emma's bed and gently asks her if she had anything to do with Milo's death. He promises that he will stand by her no matter what, but he asks her to be completely honest. To David's shock, Emma calmly admits that she pushed Milo from the cliff because she feared he would tell others that she had taken his Citizenship Award medal. She casually adds that it will not happen again, leaving David completely horrified. Wanting to know the full truth, he asks about Emma's former babysitter, Mrs. Levia. Emma openly admits that she pushed Mrs. Levia down the stairs after becoming upset when the babysitter grabbed her hand, then insists that the accident could have been avoided if Mrs. Levia had been more careful. As the conversation continues, Emma grows increasingly angry. When David asks about Chloe, Emma blames her for trying to replace her mother by becoming David's wife. Listening to these admissions leaves David devastated, as he struggles to accept that his own daughter could be responsible for such tragic events. The following morning, the town sheriff calls David and requests to speak with Emma. Hoping to protect her for the moment, David claims that she is too sick to meet anyone. Instead, he takes Emma to their remote lake house, where the housekeeper welcomes them. Later that day, the sheriff calls again with new information, explaining that investigators now believe the fire was intentionally started, although they still have no suspect. Hearing this makes David even more anxious as he realizes the investigation is getting closer to the truth. At the lake house, David repeatedly looks at a firearm he has brought with him, clearly wrestling with an impossible decision about how to stop the growing danger. The next morning, while David is asleep, Emma quietly enters his bedroom and gives him a gentle kiss. She then closes every window in the house and turns on the gas burners before calmly walking down to the lake. A short time later, David wakes up and immediately notices the strong smell of gas. He quickly opens the windows, shuts off the stove, and rushes outside. Seeing Emma peacefully waiting by the lake, he realizes she deliberately tried to put his life in danger. David calmly approaches her and asks why she would do something like that. Emma explains that if anything happened to him, she would get to live with her Aunt Angela, whom she believes truly cares about her. Keeping his emotions under control, David gently takes Emma back inside the house. Soon afterward, David crushes several of his medications into a powder and prepares 2 cups of hot chocolate. He gives one to Emma, and the two quietly drink together before he tucks her into bed. Once he returns to his own room, David calls Angela and finally tells her everything he has learned about Emma's disturbing actions. Angela cannot bring herself to believe that Emma could be responsible for any of it. David apologizes and sadly tells her that he feels trapped with no good solution left. It then becomes clear that he secretly mixed the medication into Emma's drink, hoping to stop any future tragedies. However, he never reveals that part of his plan to Angela. Later that night, Emma quietly walks into David's bedroom carrying his firearm. She places it in his hand and pulls the trigger, but the shot misses him and strikes the pillow instead. The loud noise wakes David, who is stunned to see Emma standing there unharmed. Emma calmly reveals that she secretly switched their cups of hot chocolate, meaning David consumed the drugged drink instead of her. Realizing the danger, David immediately lunges toward her in an attempt to take the gun away. Emma quickly grabs his phone, dials emergency services, and runs into the bathroom while claiming that her father is trying to harm her. David forces the bathroom door open and points the firearm toward Emma. At that exact moment, the housekeeper appears behind him holding a rifle. Believing Emma is in immediate danger, the housekeeper fires at David before he can act. David collapses to the floor, and despite everything that has happened, he does not survive. Soon afterward, the police arrive at the lake house. The following morning, Aunt Angela reaches the scene and comforts Emma. Believing David had been struggling with serious personal problems, Angela gently tells Emma that her father must have been very unwell. As Angela embraces her, Emma quietly returns the hug. In the final unsettling moment, a faint smile slowly appears across Emma's face, revealing the same cold and calculating expression that has been hidden beneath her innocent appearance all along. Thank you for watching this recap. If you enjoy stories like this, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and support the channel with a like. See you in the next movie recap.